I felt really low and like I wasn't good enough because I wasn't. And that was like a hard truth to know and understand. But I feel like my teammates were like, no, you are good enough. You have a lot of potential.
Joining us now, she's a forward for Chelsea in the Women's Super League and for the United States Women's National Soccer Team. A former Gatorade National Player of the Year, she was selected first overall in the 2023 NWSL draft by Angel City while she was still in high school, and she scored 5 minutes into her professional debut while still finishing her senior year at Harvard Westlake. She's a TikTok dancing queen, and she made a cameo in the Jennifer Garner Netflix movie Family Switch. It's Alyssa Thompson. Hi, Alyssa.
Hi.
Have you recovered from She Weekend in Vegas yet?
Yeah, I think I'm just finally recovering from it.
Yeah, you were there real quick though, right? Just a short amount of time.
Yeah, just for the panel and the Boys and Girls Club.
Vegas didn't get you like it maybe potentially got me, as we know, everything that happens in Vegas stays there. So I want to talk about Chelsea, first of all, because in March you helped them beat Manchester United in the FA Women's League Cup final. I want to talk about that game because that's your first big senior win, 21,000 people in attendance. This is a huge moment for you in your career. Were you nervous? Were you more excited than nervous? Like, take us to that day.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty nervous playing in the first final with Chelsea. The team as a whole is like kind of used to being in finals and winning trophies. So being able to be a part of that was really cool. I was definitely nervous on the day, but super excited to play in it. And I feel like being able to win that with the team was just super special. And I feel like it was just another stepping stone into where I want to continue being.
We're just under a year out from the World Cup, and LA 2028 is right around the corner. So Emma Hayes is going to start making big decisions and wanting to see all of her players together. Do you take into account the timing of those big international opportunities when thinking about where you're playing your club footy, whether that's because you want to stay on Emma's radar or you just want to be on the same sort of timeline and season footprint of the majority of the U.S. team players?
No, I don't really think about that. I think the most important thing for players like going into the World Cup is playing and being in form. So I hope that that's what I'll be doing this season and hopefully just doing better than I did last season and putting myself in the best position to get picked for the World Cup.
What are the things you're working on as you look ahead to this season personally?
Yeah, I think just being more clinical in front of goal, being better in my crossing. Yeah, I think overall getting like more assists, more goals than I did last season. And just making good decisions on the ball, to get the team going forward and get us into good scoring positions.
You already picked up some hardware in the WSL, so you adjusted well. I want to get to that transition in a little bit, but speaking of the World Cup and this US team, you were on the US team for the World Cup in 2023, but you missed out on the Olympic squad that won gold in Paris in 2024. Did you get direction from Emma on what you needed to improve to get back into the mix or why that decision was made on that 2024 roster?
I feel like I didn't get much direction, because she was coming in new, so she didn't really know a lot of our players anyways, like, kinda just from afar, and coming into the Olympics, I feel like it was, like, just a big rush, so she needed to focus on the team, not the people that didn't make it. But I feel like for me, I took a lot from that experience, like, being able to go to the World Cup was surreal, and doing it at 18 was something I never, expected for myself. So I was really nervous then, and I think not getting selected for the Olympics and them winning was kind of something that fueled me, and I knew that I needed to be better. Going into the Olympics, I didn't have I wasn't in very good form, and I was still pretty young. So I think having that experience not making the roster fueled me to be the player that I am today and continue to push. And I think after that, I played really well and just grew in confidence in myself. And I knew what I can bring to the table. And I just had to keep repeating that to myself to stay at the level that I was.
Yeah, it's sort of hard sometimes to picture how much work goes in during a cycle and in between the big international tournaments. And there are other players who have had kind of similar experiences. Mal Swanson is a great example of that, right? She played on a U.S. international team for a big tournament really young and then was out and back in. And then now she'll be fighting her way back in post-pregnancy. So were there players that you talked to during or after the Olympic run about how to keep your confidence and your sense of self heading into the next cycle?
I think I leaned a lot on my club teammates at Angel City. Kristen Press and Ali Riley were super helpful. I mean, my sister, like honestly, all my teammates there gave me so much confidence. I don't think I would be where I am right now without them during that time because I felt really low and like I wasn't good enough because I wasn't. And that was like a hard truth to know, and understand, but I feel like my teammates were like, "No, you are good enough. You have a lot of potential, and there are just small things that you need to do in order to be on that team or be at your full potential." And them telling me that really helped me, and I think, like, them just looking to me kind of as someone that can help the team without scoring or without assisting, was really helpful to my confidence, and I think yeah, just I owe a lot to them.
Yeah. I mean, you started so young that it's hard not to just feel like the arrow's gonna keep going up forever, and eventually there are gonna be roadblocks or challenges to face, and it sounds like you've got a good support system. You mentioned your sister, Gisele. You used to play together at Angel City. You were the first pair of sisters named to the starting lineup of the same team, and then last year in the She Believes Cup, the second pair of sisters to play for the national team in the same match. How difficult was it for you to tell her that you were leaving to go play across the pond?
Honestly, I feel like she was involved in the conversation a lot and, like, knew that it was a possibility that I could be leaving, and when, like, I first got told that Chelsea was the opportunity, she was, like, super excited for me and, like, honestly couldn't believe it, like, I couldn't believe it either. So I think we both knew that, like, it was something that I wanted to do, and I've always wanted to play in Europe, and, like, yeah, just play overseas, so I think she wasn't surprised, but she was definitely sad. We were both sad that we were leaving each other, but we knew that it was a good stepping point in both of our careers for her to be playing at Angel City by herself and me to be over here by ourselves, like, kind of having our separate time that we didn't really get to have, like, growing up.
Yeah, you're so tight with your sisters and your family, and then playing at Angel City allowed you to stay in your home market. So this is a big leap, and you were having tremendous success individually in the NWSL. So it had to take a lot of confidence to decide to go play in a totally different league, in a totally different country, and have to reprove yourself there. Where did you find that confidence?
I think I felt really good in where I was at Angel City, and when I start to feel comfortable, I feel like I'm not growing, and I think at that point, I was getting comfortable in where I was, and I wanted to keep growing, and I don't wanna, like, stop learning and being a better player, and I think this next step was just, like, the next stepping stone for me to continue to be a better player, learn from different people, be in a different league with different types of play and tactics and stuff like that, so I feel like I had confidence in myself just because of how I was doing at Angel City, but I also was like, I know this is gonna be hard, and I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself to do amazing right when I came in. I just wanted to learn a lot, and I knew that coming over here, I was gonna grow. If I played bad, I was gonna grow. If I played good, I was gonna grow. So I felt like it was a win-win for me, and I just like want to learn and be the best player I can be. So
Yeah, you mentioned some of the differences. I'm curious what stands out the most about playing in the WSL and how it differs from the NWSL.
I feel like it's just it's really cool to play in Champions League here. I think that's the biggest difference. Like we play teams in Italy, Spain, and you get to see other tactics from other countries that in the US it's kind of like we're playing the same teams. So I think it was cool to be able to play in Champions League and have that like different teams that you get to play.
Yeah, like approaching strategically differently based on how they're setting up and their approach to the game. What about the competition level? One thing I've heard about the WSL is that it's really competitive at the top, but maybe not all the way down. Do you find that you miss some of the parity of the NWSL where every single game you really got to get up for?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like here too, like most of the games are pretty competitive. I felt kind of like, I mean, the NWSL is very competitive too, but playing here, I feel like every game is competitive. It's also competitive to like start and play even on your own team. So I feel like that is like an extra factor too. And I feel like that is something that makes me be a better player and like work really hard in training too and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned that a lot of your teammates are sort of used to winning. Chelsea's a very dominant team. You came from an Angel City team that was dominant in so many categories, except for, when it came to trophies and winning. How does that change your perspective on the game and maybe even your approach, getting used to and accustomed to being on a team that expects to come out on top?
Yeah, I mean, I always say like the US national team is expected to win and have trophies, and that is the pressure that the US national team has. So I feel like I had that experience coming in, but feeling it every day is something that's very different. And feeling it every game, knowing that people expect you to win and it's not like you guys are the underdogs. It was, I think, something that I knew coming in, but it is something that I try not to think about a lot because then it's gonna just stress you out. I think if Chelsea just plays, like, the best versions of ourselves, like, we all back each other, so I think it's easy to think about it in that way. Once you start thinking about, "Oh, we have to win because everyone expects us to win," it's just more pressure.
Sounds like that's a little bit of the uncomfortableness you were looking for in trying something new and going across the pond. What else is making you uncomfortable right now about playing with Chelsea that you think is helping you grow?
I think just living in a different, um, place, so far away from home with none of my family, that is something that I've had like, dealt with over the past year, and I think coming back to London, I felt really good about where I was and, like, really excited to come back and, like, experience this place. Yeah, just growing up and getting older, and I feel like it's, like, doing my own laundry or, like, cooking for
Yeah.
myself and just, like, things that you do growing up that I didn't really think about as much when I was home, but I think it's really cool, like, living alone and being somewhere new where I get to try new things and be around new people is uncomfortable, but it's, like, exciting.
It's kinda like college for you, frankly, because
Yeah.
you came straight out of high school, and most of us get to college and realize we don't know how to do our laundry, or we suck at cooking, or we get really excited about moving in with roommates and practicing being an adult in, like, a safe space where we're learning, and so you kinda get that experience out there, which is really cool. You mentioned finding your confidence both through your own proof of ability, but also through teammates and support systems, and you're working with Dove on their Body Confident Collective, trying to raise an awareness for some of the challenges in confidence that young girls have that cause them to walk away from sports. When you were young, you were such a phenom. Was there any point growing up where you weren't confident in yourself as an athlete or as a person?
Mm,
And you don't have
I
to
mean
lie. You don't have to say yes if it's not true. If you were always confident, that's awesome, and I wanna hear that too.
I think it's, like, more of a quiet confidence, but I think it also comes from my sister. I think she gives me so much confidence, and we did everything together growing up, and I knew if she thought I played well, then I thought I played well, or she was like, "You're doing so good," like, I believe her. Like, she's like my I don't know, like, my, voice inside my head, but she's a real person. So it was really nice, like, having that growing up, and I think she gave me so much confidence. When she came to Angel City, I felt like, honestly, a different person because I had her, and I think that was really helpful growing up throughout my childhood, being able to play with her because we played with boys, and that was scary, but her being there made me feel like, "Oh, I don't care what like, if they think I'm good. If Gisele thinks I can hang with them, then it's fine." And it's weird to think that because she's my little sister, but I do feel like she just gives me, like, the utmost support and love, and I feel like she wouldn't judge me if I had a bad day because she knows and she gets it. So I think coming here, like, I've had to grow my own confidence a lot from, like, my own myself because it's not gonna come always from my teammates or, like, from my sister because she's not here, so I think that is also something that, I'm working on and continuing to be better at, but I think I've always been able, like, since the last few years, just telling myself that no one's you has helped me a lot.
Yeah, I love that. I love that it's your younger sister, like you mentioned, because there's a lot of great research into young people. All they really need is one adult who believes in them, who's paying attention, who's encouraging them. But I love that for you, that could also just be a friend slash sister slash teammate. How important do you think it is for parents, coaches, teammates, mentors, all of those people to be supportive and create an environment where a young person can want to stay in the game? How much do you think that impacts, like, girls' decisions to stay in sports or not?
I think it impacts a lot. I think personally, some people are really driven by themselves and are able to like block out all the noise. But I think growing up, being younger, like you want to hear people are validating you, especially like coaches and parents, to know that you're like kind of doing the right thing because this is your first time like doing, I don't know, any sport and stuff like that. So I think it's super helpful for parents, teachers, coaches to uplift like the younger people around them and be able to help them learn in that way. I think that has helped me a lot, just getting confidence from the people around me.
Yeah. I wanna do a quick speed round about your experience across the pond. So what's your favorite British food?
Um, I haven't tried many British foods, to be honest. Oh, actually, okay. My favorite British food is Weetabix. It's like a cereal, and I have it every morning. It's really good.
Is that the one in Ted Lasso where it's just one giant square?
Yeah.
It is? And then you put
Yeah,
it in,
but
like, milk and it, like, dissolves, or how do you eat it?
yeah. I make it like kind of like an oatmeal. I put like protein
Okay.
powder in it and like honey, cinnamon. I make it good. It's good.
I mean, you're really, like, living the Ted Lasso life. You just arrived back
Yeah.
in London, and now you're, like, all comfortable. What's your least favorite British food? Has anyone made you try something that you're like, "Yeah, I'm not into that"?
Well, I'm not a big beans person, so I'm not going to try beans on toast. I just feel like even seeing it sometimes in the morning, I'm like, oh, wow,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
lot.
tough.
But they really love it, beans on toast.
What's your favorite British slang?
I like in it a lot. Or, like, they say, like, mad before things.
Mhm.
I love their accents, like, it's my favorite thing I think about being here is their
Yeah,
accents.
me too. I love a British accent. I also learned very recently that when people from England say "quite," they mean "not really." And when we
Yeah,
say "quite" in America, we mean, like, more. Like, "Oh, it's quite good," means it's really good, and in Britain, when they say it's quite good, it means it's like, it's okay, like, it's
it's
not great.
alright, yeah.
Yeah, that's, like, totally different.
Ah.
Are you finding that you accidentally say words with a British accent sometimes? Like, people go to the South and all of a sudden they're, like, saying "y'all" all the time?
No, I wish. Honestly, like, I wanna start talking like them, so
Don't do
hopefully
it.
soon.
Don't do it. We the olds like me remember when Madonna started dating a British guy and suddenly had an accent. We were like, "That's not how it works. Like, you're not from England now." What's your favorite place to shop when you're in town in London?
Selfridges.
Oh.
It's like
What
a
do you get there?
department store.
Yeah.
It has everything. So good.
Okay. What's the biggest culture shock adjusting to living in England?
I never, like, had to hang my clothes, so I like, I always did washer like, my apartment only has a washer-dryer, so it's, like, annoying to because it shrinks all my stuff, so now I hang
Oh.
up my clothes.
Oh, it, like, dries automatically as part of the cycle.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh, yeah,
washer-dryer.
that's no good. Because then you
No.
can't take out the ones that you don't wanna dry.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then I think you probably would have to say driving on the other side based on what I read about you hitting a lot of curbs?
I honestly am so much I like it driving feels normal now, like, it
Okay,
doesn't
good.
feel like yeah, I don't hit a lot of curbs anymore.
And then other than your sister and your family, what's the thing you miss most about living in the US?
The thing I miss most about, like, being in LA is the beach.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
and the
Well, we're
sunsets.
excited to see all your success in Chelsea and really excited for the US women's national team to get going again ahead of the World Cup. So thanks so much for giving us some time.
Thank you.